You ask and I shall deliver. People were asking me to do a live stream regarding how we could use ChatGPT for health because I have been giving advice on how to hack ChatGPT into making it the best tool possible for creating systems that improves your wealth, health, and relationships, the three areas of health, wealth, and love. A lot of people use ChatGPT and AI just to ask random questions or make some internet slop or some funny images. But here, I go and investigate the most effective ways to use ChatGPT and recently even more ChatGPT projects to create a self-correcting mechanism to fix almost everything. I've been using my life has become so much better. My path is clear. I know what I'm supposed to be doing because of the advice and the information that I'm getting from AI. Come up with a system where AI just figures out what the best exact thing I need to hear and do at every given moment, and this system is constantly improving. I even though I keep talking about AI, being able to use AI in health, wealth, and relationships, I've been more focused on the wealth area, and I've seen some amazing results, increasing how improving the businesses that I'm in, and also love the relationship parts. It works wonders. I'm pretty good, and health. I also thought I'm maxed out. I'm pretty good because you guys asked me to do health related live stream. I try to use the same principles and the same mechanism that I try to the self loop. I create a feedback loop that fixes itself, and I'll show you how it applies to health as well, right? And I try to get that same loop and bring it to the health to a health area. And I'm so happy that you guys actually made me do this because I see that this actually benefits me as well, right? So when it comes to health, because I always assume, which is almost true actually, it's not this is not a wrong assumption, that for most people the health related activities is not a matter of lack of knowledge, it's a matter of lack of willpower. Because when it comes to the information regarding what we need to do to be healthier, it's pretty basic and it's accessible information. Like it just comes, I think that people assumption is that people just want to pretend that they don't have the knowledge because they don't want to do the work and they don't want to pay the cost. But it's when it comes to health, it's pretty basic. All you have to do is sleep a lot, drink a lot of water, move your ass, meaning that walk a lot and lift some weights and eat a lot of vegetables. If you're overweight, don't consume a lot of calories. Try to go for less calorie dense food. Don't smoke, don't drink. Don't eat food that has garbage in it that is bad for your health. And everybody knows that this is not rocket science. If you do these things, you're doing more than 95% of the people out there for your health. People are like, oh, how do we get the right knowledge to be healthy? This is basic knowledge. How much more complicated can be? People know that they need to sleep more. That's healthy thing to do. And they're still playing video games late into the night, but they know that they should be sleeping and they're not. People know that smoking is bad for you, they smoke. People know that drinking is bad for you, they drink. People know that they need to exercise more often and they don't. So obviously lack of information is not the problem here. People consume more people consume more information regarding how to get healthy than doing the things that is required to get healthy. I think a lot of times when people are consuming information regarding how to be healthy is because they want to convince themselves that there's a secret to it that I do not know, and that's the reason why I'm not doing it. It's the same thing with becoming getting wealthier because getting wealthier is actually easy. It's not easy. It requires a lot of hard work, but the information on how to do it is there. But people want to pretend that there is a secret that they do not know, an excuse not to do the hard work, right? So It's the same thing with health. If I'm unhealthy, if I'm chubby, if I'm overweight, it's not because I'm just eating another slice of cake that I know I shouldn't. It's not because I'm eating pizza and burgers most days and fast food all days. It's not because I'm just stationary, not moving around playing video games most of the time. It's because if I knew there's a secret way of doing these things that I don't know, this information on how to generate a lot of wealth is out there, and it's actually pretty clear the steps that you need to take to get there. But if it's not a secret, if it's actually obvious, then being poor and being unhealthy will just be a judgment on you not doing the hard work that is required. But it's just that, right? That being said, does that mean that AI cannot help us? I thought so, but it did help me. I'll tell you what. You guys care about your health? Are you focusing on that at all? Is that something that matters to you? Because I know a lot of you are on the younger side, and that means that you're not. Most of you who are on the younger side are not going to give a shit about your health until it's too late. Like most people start caring about their health when something breaks, and when something breaks, they're like, oh, this is actually important. A lot of you think that, when I tell you, oh, you need to drink a lot of water, you need to go to bed early at night, you feel like, oh, this is just like, okay, mom. They make fun of these simple advice, but at the same time, they're going to be in a wheelchair at age 60, and I'm going to be rock climbing at age 80. They're going to be on the hospital. A lot of these people are going to be stuck on their hospital bed by age 60, 65, and I'm going to be the energy of a 30-year-old at 80. Okay? So don't care about these things at a young age, but this is exactly, you need to turn these into a habit when you can. If you have an able body, that's when you need to turn this into a habit, because it will be very difficult to turn it into a habit later. Let me tell you something. A lot of people who are younger and are overweight they tell themselves that one day, once I go past this, once I figure my life out and I have more time, I will dedicate a lot of time in giving up this weight, right? But let me promise you something. Most of you, if you carry your overweight into an older age, you will never get rid of it. So it's now or never for most of you. Let that be a warning for you. Greenberg is saying, definitely, I mean, I'm so healthy and I have a healthy lifestyle, but my friends and students, even in the university, all smoking cigarettes and that early. That really frustrates me, man. I can't walk anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I understand people who smoke really. Todd is saying, I care about my health, but I'm addicted to smoking. Well, you need to figure out how to get rid of that, my man. You need to really that's the highest priority of your life. Alice is here too. Alice saying, I stopped at 22, started at 17 because I got addicted to the gym and came to the conclusion smoking is inhibiting my progress. Well, that's good, Alice. Congratulations. Good job. Smoking inhibits everything good. Let me actually tell you something that makes me care about my health so much. So, you remember how I mentioned the goals of life basically fit in one of these three categories? It's either health, wealth, and love, right? But to be honest, it actually is all about love, because studies show that humans are social animals and they're obsessed with their connection to other humans. So when I say love, I mean our interaction and our bonds with all other humans. So we're such social animals, we're really obsessed with how we're seen by others, how we see others, how we love others, our image in society. Studies on human happiness shows that nothing makes us happier than strong bonds with other humans. So the most important goal, everything you do ends up being about relationships and how you're seeing your connection to other human beings, right? Even if you're looking for wealth, the whole point of wealth is to either support a certain group of people or prove something to other people. Are you trying to protect somebody you love? It's all about connection to other human beings. If you could actually put all our goals under the subcategory of love. But if love is our end goal, why do we also talk about health and wealth? Because the ultimate source of happiness is to serve other people, to make their lives better, and protect the people you love. To be able to do that, you need power and control over two different environments. When we talk about your environment, most people think about the space outside of your body. But the way I look at it, my body is my first environment. My body is my first home because I am not my body, I am my mind. My mind exists in an initial environment, which is my body, and my body is in a secondary environment, which is the area outside of my body. So we need health to be able to have control and power over our first environment, our first home, which is our body. We need wealth to have control over the environment outside of our body. Wealth is economic agency that gives you the leverage to control things outside of your body. But if you have a lot of wealth and you don't have health, control over the environment outside of your body doesn't matter because you have been paralyzed in your first environment. Even if you're the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world, it's not going to mean much if you lose bodily health. If you go actually talk to the richest people in the world who have cancer or who are really old and don't have a mobility, most of them, if you ask them, if they will give up all their health. So a 90-year-old man in the hospital who has billions of dollars, if you are a broke 20-year-old, that guy is willing to give up everything he has to get everything you have. You don't realize what you have. Like if you're 20 and you have a healthy body, you have no idea how valuable what you have is until you lose it, right? And again, the reason why I mentioned love here as the ultimate goal is that if the ultimate source of happiness is to serve people and protect the people you love, to do that, I need control over my environment. And I need control over my first environment and my second environment. So I need my health and I need my wealth to be able to serve others and protect the people I love. Right? But health first, wealth second, love last, but love is the ultimate goal. It doesn't mean that it matters less. It means the priority I need. Anyways, let's get to how we use AI. When I started creating the system so I could tell you guys, I got ChatGPT project instruction that I am actually in love with and I'm going to use now. And I'm going to tell you how to get that for yourself. Okay, so let me explain how we do things with ChatGPT here. If you don't pay for ChatGPT, I have a way for you to use it with the free version as well. So, for people who don't follow my other live streams, let me explain how I do this here. I use ChatGPT projects to put some instructions to turn ChatGPT in a tool more powerful than the way other people use it. And not only I put something in the instructions that makes ChatGPT a lot more useful, I create a feedback mechanism, I create a loop where the instructions are constantly improving based on how flawed the answers were last time. So for people who don't know, ChatGPT projects is a thing in ChatGPT, the paid version, where you started a project, you give the project a name, it has an instruction area, and in the instructions you write certain things and write the instructions, and that way every time you start a prompt, it responds in accordance to the instructions that you gave it. So you don't have to re-explain everything to it from scratch. Eventually, when I started using it, I realized the potential that this has. Because every time, for every important thing I do in my life, if I create a ChatGPT project and put some instructions in there, and then I give the prompts to ChatGPT under the project that is relevant to the task at hand, then whenever I don't get satisfactory responses, I get ChatGPT to realize what went wrong and then give it the instructions that I have in the project and ask it to change it so that next time I get to the proper response faster without me having to give it feedback, right? So here's how I use it. And again, if you don't have a paid ChatGPT, then instead of having a ChatGPT project with the instructions area, what you would then need to do is just use the instructions as the first prompt and then input a data for you to then deliver something to me, right? If you don't have projects, you need to first give the instructions and tell ChatGPT if it understands the instructions, and then if it does, then wait for my input before you give me the output. For people who have the paid chat gpt, you don't have to do this part. You could just put it in instructions area, right? So the way to get the project instructions started, what do I put in the project instructions? I could tell you how to make it because my project instructions for health is very specifically tailored to me right now. So I prefer you just understand how to make it. So this is how you make it. You make the project, you call the project health, and then you leave the project instructions empty, and then you tell under the project health, you tell ChatGPT this: I am starting a project, a ChatGPT project, and I need you to help me with the instructions, right? The goal, the purpose is for you to help me become healthier. This is my name, this is my age, this is my weight, this is my height, these are my habits, this is how much I exercise, these are what I eat. And then don't give me the project instructions. Here's what you do: ask me some more questions regarding my health. Wait for my next instruction. Ask me some questions so that you could have a better understanding of what my health situation and my habits are. It will give you a list of questions, answer them. And then ask me a couple of questions regarding what the goal of this project is. See, the genius of this is that you don't have to actually come up with what to write yourself. You get ChatGPT to ask the questions for you. It will decide what information it needs to move forward. Ask me the best questions so that when I answer you, you have the relevant information to understand my health and habits, to understand the purpose of this ChatGPT project. Ask me the best questions so that when I answer you, you have the best understanding of what the inputs of this project is going to be and what outputs you need to give to me. Okay. And for me, the inputs of this project could be pictures of my supplements that I'm considering or that I'm taking, pictures of a food that I'm deciding whether I should eat or not, pictures of the way I do weightlifting, pictures of my smartwatch to show how many hours I've slept last night and with what sleep quality, was showing how many steps I've taken, what hour. What hour is more important because I want to make sure that I am going out at a time that I get some sunlight, but not enough sunlight that I try to figure out exactly how much UV is out there because I want some sunlight, but I don't want skin cancer. So, what is the perfect time that I could get sunlight without sun protection, without sunblock? What is the exact hours for me to go get my checking up three boxes at the same time? I'm getting my 10,000 steps for that day. I am consuming content and I'm educating myself while I'm walking. And at the same time, I'm getting my daily dose of sunlight. Three things at the same time. The input could be a picture of my watch showing my step count, my sleeping quality, and my sleeping hour. The input could vary. And again, this is beautiful because there's no app that is this flexible. Like we have an app that tracks food, but what I'm building is basically works like an app that the input could be anything. The input could be me speaking into a microphone or a picture of a food in front of me. I will tell it when I take a picture of a food if it is too much calorie, if it has some things in it that is unhealthy for me. When I take a picture of a supplement, what I want is to get evidence based research that shows whether or not the supplement actually is effective and if I'm wasting my money. Now, every time I am worried, concerned, or wondering about the health impact of something, this one ChatGPT project, I'll just take a picture of something, send it to it, and it knows what it needs to give me. It categorizes things as red, yellow, or green. Red means avoid, don't take the supplement. Yellow means maybe yes, maybe no. it's not that effective. Green means yes, keep the supplement. I make sure that it doesn't give me a wall of text. Every time I give it an input, it only gives me 3 bullet points. When I take a picture, send it to it, I get a quick note that it's evidence based, that I could trust. I don't want to say, if I go out there and there's a plate of food in front of me and I take a picture, read an essay before I decide to eat this food or not. The third series of questions that I make ChatGPT ask me is regarding what the input is going to be and how the format of the output. I ask ChatGPT to ask me more about the format of the output. I want a short, direct, no BS, no cushioning, evidence based, short, to the point, bullet points regarding the judgment on this supplement, whatever I give you. And then once I answer these third series of questions, I tell ChatGPT what this project is about, my health situation, my age, my weight, my height, exactly what I'm going to give you, and exactly what you're supposed to give me. Now, use the best practices for a ChatGPT project instruction to write a project instruction for me that I could copy and paste in the project instructions area for this project. And make sure keep it under 8,000 characters because it doesn't fit there if it's more than 8,000 characters. So now I get a project instructions and I have a project with the project instructions in there. So this project should work perfectly, right? Wrong. It won't. The first time when you make the project instruction, you use it, you're like, I don't like the responses. I don't like the format. It's too long. It's too short. It didn't understand what I'm actually wanting from it. When I first make a project, when I give it an input, wait for the response. And guys, the beauty of having a ChatGPT project is that you don't need to ask it what to do, right? So, for example, when I have a ChatGPT project, it already knows that when I give it a picture of a supplement, it needs to research it and just give me a verdict. So, when I if you're normally using a chat gpt without using the project, when you upload a supplement, it will say like, oh, here, this is a picture of a supplement. But in the project, when I upload a picture of a supplement, it knows exactly based on the project instructions that it needs to look up this, research this, give me a verdict, tell me to take it or not take it, right? Or everything else, right? So I upload the supplement that I've been taking for a long time, and I realized I've been wasting my money. I pride myself in doing my research before buying something, especially supplements. But ChatGPT actually showed me some sources that I realized that okay, I was wrong. This was a waste of money, so I'm not going to buy that supplement anytime anymore, right? So when the way that it delivered it, because this is the first use of the project, it's not the way I like it. This is not what I wanted, and here are the reasons why you effed up. And then before it fixes it, I'm like, don't fix this for me. First of all, tell me if you understand why you effed up because I want to hear it from you. I want to know that you understand. I'll tell you to explain what went wrong. And then I look at the response and see if it now understands what it did wrong, right? And especially what I'm looking at is if it's trying to come up with very specific rules so that it doesn't make this mistake again, because I don't like that. What I wanted to do is to have a better perspective in general. Sometimes it's okay if it adds a few lines of rules, but I prefer for it to just have a better general understanding and our philosophy of this project rather than trying to come up with like a patch for like with one rule for every mistake because then the project is going to be too hard to control, right? So once I'm satisfied that it understands it, then I will take the project instructions and the current project instruction based on how you effed up, based on all the feedback that I give you from the beginning of this conversation. Sometimes if I tell it that you effed up, it thinks that it effed up only in the previous prompt. You effed up since the beginning of our conversation. I give you a lot of feedback all the way through, not just in the previous prompt. So I tell it based on what you effed up from our entire conversation from the beginning and all the feedback I gave you, you need to improve the instructions below using best practices for project instructions. You need to change the things that you need to change and keep the parts that are working to improve it so that next time you do better, right? And then, and also make sure you keep it under 8,000 characters. And then it will give me the new project instructions. And then I switch from the reasoning model to the instant model and I say, what did you change? And then it tells me what it changed. And I look at what it changed and I see, that makes sense. You did a good job. And I take the new project instructions and I put it in place of the old project instructions. And now I test it again. I take a picture of my supplement and I get see the results. And I'm like, that's better. Good job. And this will like again, this is a loop that will work for everything, right? And this is a concept. By the way, I am going to one day figure out how to make this loop automatic. Like I would love it if ChatGPT I could make instructions that just automatically update in the project because I didn't get the results that I want. Like smart, oh my god, I just came up with this. Imagine if one day we have smart projects just improve the instructions for every individual specific project based on how unsatisfied they were every single prompt that they give. We're at the middle of an AI boom and bubble at the same time. And because the bubble is going to burst, a lot of people are not going to see the boom because a lot of companies don't know how to implement AI, but individuals are implementing it. There's a hidden economy of AI right now because companies are failing at implementing them effectively at a company level. And a lot of people are going to think AI is a bubble because companies are failing to use it effectively at a company level. But individuals, which you're using the ChatGPT as without the company's plan, companies, because they're dinosaurs and they're so slow to adapt, are failing at implementing AI very effectively. They're going to think this is a bubble, and underneath it all, individuals who are more flexible are going to use it in a way that is going to make everything more productive. And guys, everything being more productive means that it's going to be a huge boost in wealth in the entire society. And that wealth has to go somewhere. And that's what the rest of our shows are about. Because if you want you to be one of those people who benefits from this boost in wealth generation, this is a once in a lifetime, once in a century opportunity. We are living right at the edge of a golden age, and you guys are lucky enough to be born right at the time to be able to take the most advantage of it. But hurry up, because if you don't develop these skills and these know-hows, soon it will be so obvious and so easy for everyone to use it that you're just basically going to be the same as everyone else. Because once it becomes seamless, then everybody is going to be on the same page on it. So right now is the time. But that would be too late if you use it then, because then everybody else is using it and you're not going to be ahead of other people. So please take my suggestions seriously so that you could be ahead of the game. How many hours of working? I don't count by hours, I count by steps. 10,000 steps a day. Sometimes I fall short. I try to do a minimum of 5,000 a day. I could do better. But if you do 10,000 steps a day, that's really, really good. But if you can't, do 5,000 steps a day. 5,000 steps a day is, if you can add some weight trainings. And guys, when I say weight trainings, you don't need to be jacked. You don't need to be like really muscular. Okay. Because a lot of people think that if you do weight training, you have to either become really muscular or it's not worth it. A little bit of muscle does wonders for your health. The 10,000 steps a day is more important than resistance training, like weight training. But if you want to do even more, prioritize getting the 10,000 steps a day or 5,000 steps a day at least, right? Prioritize that. But if you want, try to build a little bit of muscle as well. And building a little bit, you don't need a gym membership. If you have some dumbbells in your house, that's really good. But honestly, if you don't have dumbbells, you could just do push ups and squats. That requires no gym membership and no equipment. Push ups and squats covers a lot of your muscles. Just need this much space in a corner of your room to do both. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm trying to get healthy. I went to the gym. I got this membership. Go, guys, walk outside. Oh, here's another thing: put on some music and dance. If that's free, just go out in the park, walk your dog until you get 5,000 steps. Jewish Samantha saying, I have no muscle. Just do some push ups and some squats. Um, Jack is saying, I don't have a step counter. You have a smartphone? There's a free app called Fit, Google Fit. You don't need a wearable. You could just hold your phone while you're walking. Just download the app Google Fit. It's a step counter. It's unreliable. It doesn't need to be exactly 10,000 steps. You're not trying to solve a mathematical formula. If it says 10,000 steps, but you got only 9,500 steps, that doesn't matter. Just pick a number and reach it. On your phone, if you get to 5,000 steps, even if you did 4,000 or 4,500, usually, even if they're not reliable, they're usually pretty close. If it's 4,500, that's fine. Just hold your phone then normally, and it will usually be accurate. I use different apps at the same time on my phone and on my watch to count my steps, but it's close enough. It's not like 5,000 is a magic number that if you do 4,999, all of a sudden you didn't get the health benefits. Even if you're not counting your steps, just like as long as you're not stationary, you're doing more than most people. Just dance for 20 minutes every day. How about that? Tree of Knowledge is saying, I go to the gym twice a week. Well, good job. Twice a week is good. That's good. But try to do daily when it comes to mobility. Like, there's two different things that we're trying to do here. We're trying to make sure that every day my body has not been just all stationary without movement. So we need some mobility almost every day. That's a good thing to do, right? So dancing, walking. Go for a walk for half an hour, medium pace. What is the exact amount of walking that I need to do for this to be beneficial? The fact that you go out and walk for any period of time is already so much better than people who are not walking that day. Instead of obsessing, thinking about the amount of steps that you need to take or the amount of minutes that you need to walk, just make it a habit for you to walk any amount every day. You could worry about the amount later. Just go walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Make walking every day a habit. And then once you get to the point where it's now a habit, then you could start focusing about increasing the amount, right? Oh, Jackie's saying I now downloaded the Step app. Yeah, it's encouraging. It's good to just walk even without the app. Just go out and walk. But the reason why I like the app is because I like those little check marks when it says like I give it a goal, right? I say I want to walk 10,000 steps every day. Alice saying park a bit farther from your destination. It'll force you to walk. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, exactly. Another saying, I have ADHD. I've always been super active and moving around a lot, but I didn't have any muscles. Then I went to the gym and started building muscle. Good job. Guys, building muscle is not about, it's not just about looking better. It's really, there's a lot of health benefits for having some muscles is really good for you. But again, the priority is sleeping a lot, drinking water, moving your body in any way, even if you're not weight training, and more important than all of them, stop smoking, stop drinking alcohol. Drinking alcohol apparently is as bad as smoking, new studies shows. Okay, let's say you took 36 steps and it says 72. Just pick a number on the app and try to reach it every day, and then see if you could do more. Whatever it's counting, it doesn't matter. Just pick a number that you can reach every day with the app and reach that number. Just when you go on a walk, just hold your phone and reach that number that you could reliably reach every day. Does that make sense? Okay, so yes, it makes sense. Jewish Samantha is saying, I'm not strong enough to do push ups. Can you do push ups with your knees on the ground? You could do push ups, Jewish Samantha. Can you do some push ups with your knees on the ground? And if not, can you do some push-ups against the wall instead of against the ground? You could. There's always something you could start with. Yeah. Just start with whatever you can do and slowly work on it. So, Jerusalem is saying, no, I'm not strong enough to do them with my knees on the ground. Okay, so okay, Jerusalem is saying you need to work on that. So here's the thing: ask ChatGPT that I need to do push-ups and I'm not strong enough to do knees. And here's what you do: go to ChatGPT, say I want to become stronger. This is my strength level right now. These are the things I cannot do that I wish I could do. These are the things I have access to. If you have anything that equipment, tell it. If you don't, just say I don't have anything. Tell it what you're willing to buy. If you're not willing to buy anything, just tell it that I'm not willing to buy anything, right? I say this is my situation. How do I get started? Suggest some exercises to me, and then if it suggests some exercises to you and you don't know how it works, just say make me an image with instructions on, like, make me an image. Tell ChatGPT to make an image on what that exercise looks like. I'm sure this was useful, guys. The instructions I give you in these streams are I hope some of you understand how impressive these content of these live streams are, because they are lifesavers, literally lifesavers.